Most people assume a long life comes down to genetics, or luck, or simply staying active. It turns out the real picture is a lot more specific than that, and honestly, more useful, because there are measurable signs that show up years before the outcome does. I'm going to walk you through 5 of them today, counting down from the one you've probably already heard of to the one that predicts more than almost anyone realizes. Let's begin. Sign 5. A healthy blood pressure range. Let's start with the one most people already expect to hear, and for good reason. Blood pressure that runs high for years, quietly, without symptoms, is one of the clearest paths to a shorter life, simply because of what it slowly does to the heart, the kidneys, and the brain over time. Here's the part that catches people off guard. High blood pressure doesn't announce itself. It doesn't ache or throb or interrupt your day. It simply sits there patiently, doing quiet damage for years before anyone notices anything is wrong. That's exactly why regular monitoring matters so much, not because something feels off, but because it often doesn't, right up until it does. Knowing your numbers, checking them consistently, and staying physically active remain some of the most effective tools for keeping this one in a healthy range. Sign 4. Grip strength. This one sounds almost too simple to matter, which is exactly why so many people overlook it. Grip strength isn't really about whether you can open a stubborn jar. It's a fairly reliable stand-in for something much larger, your overall muscle mass, and how efficiently your nervous system is recruiting it. Losing grip strength tends to happen quietly, over years, without anyone noticing until it's already fairly advanced. The encouraging part is that it's genuinely trainable at almost any age. Resistance work, even something as simple as carrying your own groceries instead of always asking for help, makes a real measurable difference over time. Sign 3. Walking speed. Here's one that sounds like it belongs in a fitness competition rather than a conversation about longevity, but the research says otherwise. How quickly you move across a room tells a surprising amount about what's happening underneath. Your cardiovascular system, your muscle mass, your balance, your nervous system, all reporting in at once whether you're paying attention to them or not. This one is also trainable. Regular walking. Basic strength work for the legs and core, just 2 or 3 times a week. And if your pace has noticeably slowed, that's genuinely worth mentioning to a doctor, rather than quietly accepting it as simply part of getting older. A slowing walk is often more fixable than people assume. Before we get to the 2 signs that matter most, I'd love to know, which of these have you already noticed in your own life? Tell me in the comments, and if you're finding this useful so far, take a moment to like this video and subscribe so more of these come your way. Sign 2. Real, consistent social connection. This one isn't a throwaway call your mother line. It's one of the more surprising findings in longevity research, and it deserves to be taken seriously. Isolation has been linked to health outcomes that rival some of the more well-known physical risk factors people spend far more time worrying about. It's a genuinely strange thing for the human body to care about this much, and yet, here we are. This tends to show up quietly. Someone living alone after losing a spouse, a person slowly withdrawing from friendships and activities without quite noticing it happening themselves. What helps most isn't grand gestures, it's consistency. Scheduled contact instead of contact left to chance. A recurring group or class, so connection doesn't depend on remembering to reach out on a hard week. Being honest, with family or with yourself, about what kind of support is actually needed. Sign 1. Having a reason to get up in the morning. And now, the sign that predicts more than almost anyone expects, because it isn't physical at all. Researchers sometimes call this a sense of purpose, a fairly academic way of describing something most people already understand instinctively. People with a genuine reason to show up for their day tend to show up for life, in the fullest sense, for a lot longer. Here's what makes this one different from the other 4. You have direct influence over it, starting today. That might look like a hobby you genuinely look forward to, rather than one you simply tolerate. Volunteering that puts skills you already have to use. Staying connected to a community that matters to you. Or something as small as being the person a grandchild calls when they need advice. It doesn't need to be dramatic. It simply needs to be yours. 5 signs: a healthy blood pressure range, grip strength, walking speed, real social connection, and underneath all of it, the one that predicts more than any of the others, having a genuine reason to get up in the morning. Notice what's missing from this list. It was never about whether you can still climb a flight of stairs on the first try or open a jar without help. Those things matter too. But this list is about what actually predicts how long and how well a life tends to go, not simply what you're currently capable of on any given day. If today's message was useful, take a moment to like it, share it with someone who might need to hear it, and subscribe so more of these find their way to you. Before you go, which of these 5 do you feel strongest in already, and which one are you going to start paying closer attention to? Tell me in the comments. Someone else reading might need exactly that answer today.